Slap Radio.
What's good, HI? I'm your host, James Westbrook. You tuned in to Slap Radio, not Slap with two P's, the sight and sound of the Pacific. Right now, we're in an undisclosed location, and I have with me right now the Makakilo native photographer, cinematographer, Shiloh. All right. Also joining us, we have the Kaneohe native, creative director, musician, designer, Keanu.
My guy.
Man, yo, it's finally good to be in the good graces of you guys, man. You guys been doing a lot of things, man, a lot of things, and a lot of creative ventures. So much that you guys have been doing in the past. I mean, I just want to know, like, we'll start with you, Shiloh. How did you get started in this whole creative industry?
Yeah, so I think it started when I was living. I think we talked about this in that first interview, but living in Vegas and then traveling from Vegas to LA, and then like being exposed to like all of that stuff, like the events and like the music and that just whole scene kind of inspired me to like finally actually do something creative. And I chose photography. So I got, my friend gave me a camera, and then that was like kind of my tool to like get in these events at like a young age. I was 18, I couldn't go to like 21 and over events, but having a camera on my neck just like helped me navigate easier in those spaces. People would like look at you and be like, oh, he's a photographer, so kind of like, let's let him in, he's photographing the event, blah, blah, blah. But that's kind of like where it all started, really. It's just like, I guess, LA in 2015. Yeah.
Okay. So photography was the vehicle.
Yeah. 100%.
And then getting into cinematography too as well?
Yeah. So that's like the route that I'm like taking right now. It's like learning like the ins and outs of cinematography and like directing in general. Yeah.
Now, you've been into some spaces where just, incredible spaces where not much people has been able to touch.
Right.
Touch on that Drake. Can you touch on that Drake situation right there?
It's like it's so funny because like everyone's like, oh, Drake, right? It's like it's not funny. It's like it's cool, it's cool. Like it happened, like being in the space with Travis, with Future, with Drake, and it's funny that I have like Keanu here with me right now because when I sent that text, like I called him and he didn't answer. I mean, I don't expect him to be up at like 3 a.m. or 2 a.m, but I sent him a picture of like me in the studio with like Drake and all these people, and he like woke up at like 6, and he's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Like,
no, this is how it happened. He goes, okay, this is how it happened. This is how it happened. Shiloh's meeting up with the boys from OTA.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Shout out on the arm.
Yep, and he hits me at 4:30 a.m. and he's out linking with the boys. I'm at my apartment. I'm sleeping. He sends a text at 4:30. He's like, come to the studio. And I'm just looking at this. It's 4:30. I'm looking at the text. I'm like, come to the studio. He sends me an address. It's 30 minutes away. So I'm like, I'm going to pull up at a studio at 5 a.m.
Okay, where is this?
So the studio is an undisclosed location.
All right. Okay.
Okay. But
So what state at least?
We're in LA.
Los Angeles, and he's waking up in his studio. So
okay.
Keanu's studio.
I'm in the studio right now, and I'm like, I'm sleeping. Anyway, I'm sleeping. He sent that text. I'm like, it's 30 minutes away. I'm like, bro. I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. He doesn't send me, he doesn't let me know anything. He just says, yo, pull up to the studio. I look at the distance, and this is on me. I learned a lesson.
Okay.
He sent it, and I'm like, it's 30 minutes away. I don't know if I should pull up. I said it's 30 minutes away. I don't know if you guys gonna be still up. He said, okay, bro. That's all he sent. He said, okay, bro. That's it. Then he sends me a video at 6 a.m. of him in the studio with Drake and Future. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, you're like, wow. If I could find that text message, literally says, wow.
I'm just like, wow. You should have just let me know. In my mind, I was like, wow, you couldn't let me know that the boy was there.
Yeah.
You couldn't let me know anything. But I think that's what we do as boys is you got to be ready on goal to pull up no matter what.
Yeah.
Not just because you know someone's there.
Someone's there, right? It was like, you know, we just had like this conversation. Like, I mean, our boy just left because, you know, he had some stuff that he needed to do, but he's like, he felt our energy of like being in the space. Like, we're like, he's like, oh, what's going on? Like, should I stay? And we're like, nah, bro, you can do whatever you want.
Wow.
Right.
You feel it. You know what's up. He's like, what's going on tonight? And I'm like, nothing, bro. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and convince you. I'm not. This doesn't relate to him, but it's like
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing as like, you know, boys. Like, I'm not gonna convince you. Like, oh, bro, like, no, yeah, you should come. You should stay because like this might happen. Or we might run into this person. So I guess like that kind of relates to.
And
like,
that taught me a lesson. Like,
what was that lesson that it taught you?
That lesson is when a boy says to pull up, you don't even question why or what or if anything, because when we're moving in this motion, it's anything can happen. Anything could be going on, and it's like you don't want the boy to be pulling up because knowing that something could be going. You only pulling up. You want it to be pulling up after the strength of you pulling up.
Yeah.
Of like the power of like, hey, pull up. And that was on me. And he taught me a lesson. You know what I'm saying? He taught me a valuable lesson. It's
we teach each other lessons though. And I think that's like we're brothers, you know what I mean? Like it just goes back to that. Big
lessons, boys.
Yeah. So,
there's always a lesson to be learned, huh?
Right. Yeah. So, but you know, it I think like, so I mean, let's fast forward a little bit. I don't want to like, I don't want to like pivot off, you know, pivot you off of like where you're going, but
we pivot. Let's go.
Okay, so like, I mean, for example, it's like we were just in LA together, and you know, we got invited to this event, and it's like it was at the SoFi Stadium, like just like insane event, you know. It was for like Byredo. Shout out to Byredo. Give me a sponsor. Give us a sponsor. But it was a Byredo event, which is a fragrance company, right? That's like, that's just big. And they're like, you know, whatever. Anyways, so we go to this event, and like, I think like going back to like being in spaces, right?
Yeah.
I think like you've been in spaces as well, where it's like those spaces and being around like, you know, certain people kind of like shapes you. You know what I mean? Like it teaches you. It teaches you how to maneuver and how to act when you're around other people that are like at that level of create, you know, like creative level. Right. So but yeah. So anyways, not to like kind of go off the rails, but
no, but what you're speaking about is real, because there's etiquette.
Yes.
Like 100%. When the boy is there, or when anybody's there, really, there's some sort of is I don't know. I'm just saying some sort 100%. Of etiquette. Like, I mean, I'm sure they do want to be around people that's being like, oh my gosh,
right?
They want to be around people that's gonna be like, yo, what's up, man?
Well, not even.
I'm chilling.
And at that level, it's like when you've been around just people, it's just like you don't really trip. It's not really a trip. It's just you wonder why you're there.
Yeah.
And if there's a valuable reason why you're there, and then you yourself, you figure out what that reason is. You know what I mean? And it's like a lot of the times when you figure out you're there, and it's not just because you're like, I don't know, there's some sort of resonance where you're like, oh, I see why I'm here. I'm learning about the game, or I'm like, I'm here to level it up.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it's that.
It seems like you guys are in these spaces for a reason. I mean, not just anybody can pull up.
I mean, yeah, that's the way it is. You know, you could call it lucky, or you could call it timing. You know, I don't know. Or blessed. You know, and I think that
blessed.
I think that's just like where we're from.
Yeah.
I think like our ancestors are just like always looking out for us
Ooh.
and helping us navigate through this world, you know, as yeah, it's just like it's really just that.
That, and I think when you can add value.
100%. Adding value is like key, and like that's something that we always talk about when we're in these spaces.
Yeah.
How do you know? Are we adding value? And we always are. You know what I mean? In some way, shape, or form. Like even if it's just presence. I think like, you know,
You guys are just adding to the vibe.
100%. Yeah.
100%.
We are the vibe. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I think I don't know. I want to talk about the soap. I don't know.
Talk
yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
No,
Talk
no,
about
no,
it. Talk about it. We want
let's go for it.
no. Talk about it. I want to hear what you want to talk about.
No, yeah, just like being the vibe and just like, you know, LA in itself is just like a trippy place. Like, you know, being in specific in certain spaces, you know, with certain people, you know, you kind of question like, why am I, like going back to what Keanu said, you question like, oh, why am I here? Like, what am I, you know, is this luck or is this like, what am I just here to learn? But then it's like we're in this space to add value.
Yeah. What I love about it is that local boys coming from humble beginnings are in these places, you know, that, like I said, not everybody can be at. So there must be some sort of preparation. There must be some sort of grind mode that you guys were on to reach this opportunity. There's some sort of connections that happen that enabled you folks to be right present there in places, and not even then, but even now, and continue to build, because you guys have your guys' owned brand, so to speak. Like I was telling you guys earlier, you guys have this mystique about it, and posting and all that kind of stuff. But when you post it, it means something. It's a statement piece with the period and the exclamation mark. Maybe 5 exclamation marks. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying?
You know, I think like when it comes to process and like how we process things, it's like very, you know, we set the intention together as a team, and even when there's other people with us, I mean, we are boys, you know, like we have like this specific way of setting intention. Something so simple where it's like, you know, before we leave anywhere we go, we have to like listen to Bob. Like, you know, Bob Marley, if anybody doesn't know. We have to listen to Bob Marley. The legend, you know, and it's like something so simple as that. But I mean everything from like eating food, you know, it's like Mahala Kea Kua, like every time we eat food, you know, it's like blessings, it's like cheersing, like we look at eyes, you know, it's like there's these certain actions that we do in our everyday life when we're together that I think like sets us up for success.
Yeah, right.
You know, and wherever we're gonna go and whatever we do.
Yeah.
You know, I think like, but that stems back from like being from Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know, being from this island, you know, specifically is like we take the practices that we've learned and apply it in our everyday lives.
Yo.
So that's just like a process, you know.
I love that. You know, and I want to get to how you both linked up. But before that, Keanu, how did you get into the game? How did you even get started? Was it music? Tell me, because you isn't Kaneohe, but your family is from where?
My family's from Molokai, and then
very small island. For those who don't know.
Yeah, Molokai is just like, you know, one stoplight.
Yeah.
You know, shit. But
it's very country, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's country. It's like my papa and my grandma's from there, and I got into music from my papa.
Okay.
And he just kind of showed me how to gift for music, which, and you know, like, long story short, it's music is what brought me here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Music is the vehicle. Music is like the through line through like everything I do, lifestyle, fashion, everything, you know, like it all stems from music. And I think what brought me, there's key moments that I've had that brought me to this point, but,
all right,
you know, but I just started, what really shifted everything is learning how to produce music.
okay,
I mean, I started to learn how to produce music, started studying people like Kanye,
yes,
started studying people like Timberland,
ooh,
started studying just greats, you know what I mean, 40, like
yeah,
real shit, like people that are great that I felt like I resonated with. I started producing, started building my own energy, incubating that.
yep,
And then when I was doing that, recording myself, learn how to record myself. Along that path, I met Seth. Through my boy. Shout out Seth, get off the field.
Shout out to him. He's eating good right now.
He's eating good right now. He missed out to go eat.
He missed out on this interview to go eat. He's supposed to be sitting right here, but
Yeah.
you know.
okay. Explain who's Seth before we go forward.
Seth is, I know him I met him differently from the point that he met him, but I met him going on from, Seth is 8 years younger than me, but his mind is super advanced in terms of like,
he can soak it in. Like if you tell him something, if you teach him something that day, he will like soak it in.
so Seth is special, bro.
He's special.
Seth is special.
He's so special. That's why he's not here. You fuck.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
I love that. I love the fact that when you say 8 years younger, age means nothing.
100%.
Nah, it's just how you move.
Yeah.
It's a lot of how you move, and then there's like, obviously, I think this go-getter attitude,
No doubt.
and then like, I don't know, potential. Like he just has
100%.
potential.
He
And
has the
a lot of
projection.
potential.
Yeah, he has.
Like not only potential, like this, it's like a lot of things are just gonna happen if we keep on working hard,
No doubt.
you know. But meeting Seth, I met Shiloh through Seth,
Okay.
and
I brought Seth to his first recording session that he found on Craigslist. So
Wait.
yeah.
yeah.
You know, but you know, it's like I think that's like it that just like is translating into like what I'm doing now. It's like it's like this A&R kind of energy, but like not necessarily like, you know, music. I'm not really like in the music realm, but like I'm around a lot of musicians. But just like going back to like just taking Seth to like his first, like, you know, this guy is like on Craigslist, like, hey, I can like make beats, and then I'm like driving Seth to like buttfuck Egypt and like and literally in North Shore, like to go make beats, and then that kind of like all, you know, over time, like he meets that person, and then through that person he meets Keanu. But then, you know, I was tired of like taking him to like places, so like when he met you, I was kind of like on the sidelines of his life, you know. I was like, oh fuck, like, bro, just go do your thing, because like I'm tired of like driving you, you know. I'm tired of like driving you everywhere, like. And then, but yeah, he met Keanu, and then one day he's just like, pull up to the studio, and I'm like, okay, bet. And he had a studio in Kalihi.
Okay.
Actually, where what the fuck is that? Ether.
Yeah, Ether. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pivotal. I guess it's like it's a crazy time right now, but Ether is a underground club.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Kind of like plays a lot of house music, and super cool club, you know, whatever.
Yeah, a lot of other things go down there too.
A lot of things go down there. So we'll I don't, you know, just, you know, I don't participate in any of it. I've been there a few times. Last year, I don't participate in any of it, but and good. Keanu doesn't either, and any of my friends don't participate in any of it.
I haven't even been there yet.
Yeah, so and I nothing bad about it, but in that area in Kalihi, Keanu had a studio, and I pulled up, and you know, it's like a trio. You know, me, Keanu, Seth, we're like, this is insane. Cool, we're fucking best friends. And then Keanu was getting signed actually at that time.
Ooh, okay. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What's that experience like being signed? to a label, obviously. Yeah.
I think my experience was overall. My experience is good because I think like just relationships matter. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that who signed me is DJ Carnage. At the time, his name is Carnage. He's now going by Gordo.
Okay.
My dog. But it's a good experience. It's a good experience if for me, because I had a relationship with Carnage, you know, and we still have a solid relationship. I always want ownership, you know what I mean? So I pushed for like owning a label, just like how he's owning a label. You know what I mean? So like, it's just a good learning process, you know? Like, I've learned a lot from it, but I also have things that I want to do, you know what I mean? Like things that I want to go about, things that I want to go about, like, you know, my own way with my boys.
For sure.
And also just like, Carnage just hit me up. I mean, Gordo just hit me up yesterday, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, everything is the way it's supposed to be. And
100%.
Yeah, so getting signed was crazy because Carnage came over here on he just chose to come over here, and we met through all these circumstances. Like, my manager at the time, Nate, he linked me up with Carnage, or like I linked up with Carnage before I even knew Nate, like on some other shit.
Okay.
And through Murder Beats and Corey, and then so it's like boom, boom, met Carnage, and then he was just down to earth, you know what I mean? I was driving my girlfriend's hoopty truck, and we're bumping we're bumping my music off of Beats Pill, but he was like, I was driving him to the airport in the hoopty off of Beats Pill, playing my music off of Beats Pill.
Wow.
And he was like, yo, send me these beats. And I was like, it was music that I made, but he was kind of fucking with my production, I think. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, he was fucking with my production. I sent him some beats. I was kind of waiting for like I was like excited that he was, you know what I mean, interested. But then I made a music video. And then he wanted to sign me. And then that made me think about how the vision is important.
Amazing. That's amazing, man. You know I got to give you a cheer who for that.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish you could hear that shit.
No,
I can't hear it.
I hear Trust me.
Yeah, you can hear it.
I think his story is so special.
It's beautiful,
because
man.
coming as an artist that's like coming from Honolulu, Hawaii, is
no
like,
doubt.
You know, these stories that he's telling is like, you don't really hear that type of side from like other artists, even artists that are big.
Yes.
You know, they never like really share that side. And like, I think like, you know, I just want to say shout out to James, you know, like, you know, Slap Radio, shout out to you, you know, for having us on this. But you know, it's always refreshing to like hear my boys speak of these stories.
Yeah.
Speak of like these, and every time it gets more refined, and there's always like a little bit more detail into the story. You know,
no doubt.
It's dope. I don't know. It's tight.
So, okay, I just want to dive a little bit into producing. What do you use to produce, Keanu?
I work on Logic. I work on Logic. I worked on Ableton. I worked on FL, but I use Logic because I can do everything in Logic.
Got it.
But yeah, I work on Logic, and I just make it happen.
Okay. So let's kind of fast forward now. Let's talk about New York. Let's talk about a billboard.
Mm-hmm.
Can we kind of dive into that real quick?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't personally myself. I haven't really seen local on some sort of billboard in a place where it's getting eyes upon you. You know what I'm saying? In New York, can we talk about that just for a moment?
I want to go really quick.
Yeah, go.
Yeah. What James is talking about is a billboard that we had in New York during the actually like kind of like the middle of the pandemic. So it's like 2021, I think. It was like the summer of 2021. but he's talking about a billboard that was in the middle of Times Square of Keanu when he rolled out one of his projects. But the imagery that was shot for that project was from me. And
Ooh.
it was a very special moment in our life just to see like the projection that we have and like the scale that we've manifested, you know. But to think about that time and like just capturing. So I'm gonna speak from like a photographer perspective.
Please do.
You know, and you can speak from a musician perspective in a little bit. But so capturing that photo was it took a lot. You know, it always takes a lot to capture these photos that are always, you know, everybody's like, oh my God, it's so good. But that photo specific, I was in LA and I was staying with Keanu during the time of it was summer, I think, and we, you know, I was getting unemployment and I was getting like, you know, just like a lot of money from unemployment from the government, which is like a blessing.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you know, Keanu was like, you know, like, oh, you know, like he was making a EP at the time, and I was like, yo dog, like we need to go to fucking Vegas and shoot like a visual, you know. And so I was like, I'll fund the whole thing. You know what I mean? So, you know, we rented a car and we're like, you know, we're like taking a lot of like we're taking a lot of LSD at the time. So we're like, we rented this car and we're just like driving and we're like exiting California, entering Nevada, but it was like this like weird like fucking like desert town with like, it was like so eerie and there was like a storm coming. So we're driving this car and we're like, dog, the sky looks crazy. It was like during like golden hour, you know, like 6:30, 7. And we're like, let's fucking stop right here and just like shoot some photos. So we like stop the car and we're like, we get out the car and we're like, I don't know. It's all documented, you know, like someone documented us like during this whole process. But, you know, we're like in the middle of this fucking desert and I'm taking these photos, right? I'm taking these photos of Keanu and it feels good. Like every time him and I work together, it feels fucking like genuine. So I'm taking these photos, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we shoot the whole visual. We leave. we're on the I remember we're in Vegas and like we're shooting this fucking his music video. Excuse my language. And I dropped my camera in the lake.
Wait.
No. So I'm skipping rocks with this chick, right? Like I'm skipping rocks with this chick, like so romantic, so lovely, right? You know, skipping rocks with this chick. And I like check my pocket, like so my camera's in my pocket, right?
Okay.
So I'm skipping these rocks with this chick while we're shooting this fucking video, which I shouldn't have been doing. And this is the roll of film. So I'm shooting all of this on analog, by the way, of like Keanu, right? So I didn't finish the roll of the roll, whatever photos I shot of him in the desert, the roll, and basically the roll wasn't finished. So I'm skipping these rocks and I'm like, whatever. And like 5 minutes pass by after skipping the rocks and I'm like, where the fuck is my camera? And I can't, and like, you know, I'm just like in my pocket and I'm like, what the fuck? And the chick looks at me and she goes, oh my God, your camera, is that your camera in the lake? And I'm like, shut the fuck up. And it was like, my camera's just floating in the lake.
Wait.
While there's film that's still undeveloped, like in the water.
Okay.
So anyways, basically, long story short, I developed the film and the fucking film just came out insane. Like from the water, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the energy. It's like it came out fucking ridiculous. So ridiculous that we had to put it on the billboard. So that was my photographer, you know, perspective of it. But yeah, I guess you can dive in with the musician side.
I just gotta say that's pretty amazing to hear that. Like it basically was like, I'm not gonna say the first thing that comes to mind is like, oh, okay, something happened. It almost is like a mistake, but in the midst of the imperfection, became some sort of perfection. There's perfection in the imperfection, I guess 100%. I want to say.
We call that wabi sabi.
Wabi sabi?
Yeah, wabi sabi vibes.
Okay, well, what's wabi sabi vibes?
Wabi sabi is when like some shit like that happens and then the photos have this crazy fucking blur on it that looks like, or like some shit that like I don't know, like the pan, like I don't know, like when there's an imperfection, but you run it so it just comes out hard.
For sure.
Well, I mean,
it's confidence. It's confidence.
It's confidence
Ooh.
for sure.
Yeah.
But there's like layers. It's like to that photo that was on the billboard. Like, yeah, billboard's cool, whatever. But like, what means more to me is like what it took to like even get that photo. Even everything from like styling, like from like this red hat that he's wearing is like it came from like these Santee Alley in Los Angeles, and it was like, he thought this hat looked cool, so he bought it. And it was like $20, and it's like, sometimes you don't have $20, but like you buy shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
Whatever. Anyways, but it's like even from like the work jacket that he made to like the pants, like all of that is just like there was like moments in like everything in that photo that like nobody will ever know.
Yeah.
And that's like what means the most to me,
Mm-hmm.
as a photographer, as a multimedia artist,
Mhm.
it's like these layers to a photograph or to a video that's like, it's like nobody will ever understand. And that's like the beauty of it. It's like this unknowingness of like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm like going too far, but it's like,
no, you're going right
it's-
where you need to be.
yeah. It's like there's a read, like, even to get you in the space, like getting you and like getting Keanu here, it's like it took a lot, you know what I mean? Like nobody knows that. But they maybe they'll feel it, maybe they'll feel that energy that it took. So yeah, that billboard was just like it was just a reminder of why we're doing what we're doing and the scale that we can be on.
Yeah. Yo, you guys are pushing, man.
It just makes you want to chew with that.
No doubt. It brings that vibe, huh? Okay.
For real.
So, we talked about the billboard. We talked about basically the humble beginnings. I want to talk about what you guys are up to now. You guys got the fly jackets on. You guys got the shades on. You guys got a lot of things flowing right now, guys. Can you update us, please?
100%.
What you guys got going on right now?
Shiloh, what we got going on?
We got everything going on. Keanu just came down from LA, but I'm an artist in residence with Single Double in support of Hawaii Theater.
Wow, it's huge.
So, and it's a big time in my life, I guess. Like I guess it's time to finally, before this interview, we were talking about the 3 Ps, and, maybe this is free game to like these kids that are out there, but it's like, you plan and then you prove it and then you profit off of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the bottom line of like our strategy, and it always been, and I think it'll never change. But in terms of like what we're up to, tomorrow is the first Friday event. I'm having a soft opening and I have like a DJ, and I've got granted space finally, in this time, and we're just executing on the highest level, or how we feel is the highest level without in using our resources, and I think in the future, like it's to be worldwide, but the number one thing that I want to like emphasize on is what we're always going to do is always come back home and provide a platform for these kids, for the community that helped us get here, these supporters, you know what I mean? Rather than being in Paris or being in New York and like forgetting about home. I think that's like something we've always done good at, is like always coming back home and being like, hey, I got you. Or like seeing a creative and being like, hey, I got you. Like whatever you need, like here's my resources. Like, let me share this with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, but yeah, I that's getting too deep, but yeah, what else are we up to?
I mean, that's
on,
game right
that's
there,
on,
bro.
That's on top.
That's on par, bro.
Yeah.
That's really what we on. I mean, we wearing jackets that we're making.
Shout out to Single Double. Like one
Big
time,
shout out
like
to
yeah,
Single
shout
Double,
out to
man.
Single Double.
Straight up.
It's without them, I don't think we would be where we're at today. 100%.
We wouldn't have these jackets.
We wouldn't have these jackets on. So, and if you can wear, like going back to what Chandler said, it's like if you can wear a good leather jacket, like you're gonna be successful no matter what. And I think we can wear good leather jackets. but community is important, and in these kids, these people, they need something. They need to feel welcomed, and they need a blueprint.
Yeah,
You know,
facts.
because if you're listening to this, you have a whole brand called Henny, that's like you never came back home, and you never fucking you never did a pop-up in Chinatown, and like nobody in Chinatown knows who you are, you know what I mean? And it's like I admire you, and I admire what you do, but it's like that's the prime example of like, you need to come back home, and you need to give these kids love. You need to give like the culture love. You need to give the community love. Like no matter what, you know what I mean? You can't like feed off of like our culture and then expect to like, you can't just feed off of our culture and then try to be great.
Yeah.
And not coming back home and like giving it to like these people that need it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like these resources, it's resources. It's not money. It's none of that. It's just resources. Like coming back home and giving resources to these people. That's all it really is resources. There's a kid in town right now that wants to make a shirt, but he doesn't know how to make a shirt. And you know what I mean? Like there's a kid that wants to make music that doesn't know how to make music. What's his first step? You know, so sorry, I just got to maybe we'll cut that out, but yeah. So that's basically that. Fuck that. Yeah.
That's real. Huh? Was that real?
You know, that's basically it. It's like if I don't see you in the streets, if I don't see you, you know what I mean, you're nothing to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I don't see you like grinding or like, you know, like it's like it's nothing. I don't know. Well, anyways, what's up?
No, well said, Shiloh, man.
Yeah.
You just speaking your truth, man, and it's just being real, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of kids, you know, as far as like creatives goes, or I see a lot of athletes, they come back and do combines, and you know what I mean, that they come from the the high, or wherever. You know what I mean? You can be from anywhere, but as long as you're with the community, I feel like that's very important. That you're touching 100%. People that say like, you can make it.
Yeah.
Like,
no, you can.
You know what I mean? Like the person who is, you were just giving an example. You know, if people who can make it, like you guys have been on the billboards, you got your residency here at Single Double, and you're here touching base.
That is true.
You're here touching base.
That didn't even, and that's what we want, but that's not even like there's so much bigger goals. You know what I mean? We're not even like we're like here right now.
Okay.
Like this is literally where we're at.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, before this, like Keanu made a great point of like, you know, coming back home and like being like your mom, you know, asking you like, oh, what's up, you know, and you're like, oh fuck, nothing's really up, mom, but like I've done this and this and this, but like to do something that's literally like fucking hits your family, where it's like, whoa, okay, you did something.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the goal. That feeling of like coming back home and being like, hey, I'm gonna fucking
change our lives.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change my little brothers. I'm changing my little sisters. You know, like that's the feeling. And like, I don't know, we sit with that. I sit with that every night. You know what I mean? Thinking about those things, thinking about like how I'm gonna project, like how I'm gonna scale all of this. You know, like it's not just me, it's not just Shiloh, it's not just Keanu, like it's like so much bigger.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't feel like I'm at like the top, or like, you know, I feel like right there, like I just feel like right there. You know, and we have bigger goals, but I'm getting too deep in it. Yeah, it's kind of.
Can we take a shot of this?
Yeah,
can we take a shot of this?
Yeah, I get too deep.
Okay, no, that's cool, man. Yeah.
No, shallow too deep.
Go ahead.
I get too passionate.
I get
passionate, you know, and like I think that's like.
Well, as you should. I mean, part of the creative process is the fact that you're gonna touch people, right? You know what I mean? You're gonna inspire. The greatest, in my opinion, you know what I mean, the greatest thing about being a creative is the ability to inspire, man. And like Tupac said, right? Inspire, spark the mind. Might not be him. You already know that quote, but
100%.
You guys are ground on the boot. Boots on the ground. making it happen, but still not being so far out of reach where it's like, yo, I cannot touch Shiloh, I cannot touch Keanu. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yes.
you guys are
here
elevating. You guys are
What's
here, going to the States, doing all kinds of things, but still boots on the ground. The studio right in the heart of Chinatown, man. Right in the heart of Chinatown. That's as boots on the ground as you can get. Gritty,
100%.
riding with it. You know what I'm saying? And I commend that. So I'm gonna take this shot for you guys too.
Let's go.
Thank you, James. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
I appreciate you. Yeah. I don't have anything.
Whoa, that was a big shot. So yeah, man. Tomorrow it's going down. We got the party going. It's gonna be fly.
Facts.
It's gonna be crazy.
Facts.
Yeah, like, you know, shout out to Nanea Parker, and then shout out to Kaimana, shout out to Catriel, shout out to Anaya, you know, all these beautiful women that live out here. I just want to give big shout out to you guys. You guys are like a big muse. But anyways, just leave it at that. You know, yeah.
All right, man. What's up? How can we follow you guys, man? How can we follow you? What's the link?
At Ascend Keanu.
All right, Shiloh. What's up?
It's that Diary by Shiloh. Yeah.
All right, cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Anything else you guys want to add?
Are we clean? What? We clean? We good?
I think we're good.
All right.
Is there anything else?
Is there anything you want to talk about? We can do an intimate part real quick.
We can run anything.
Yeah.
You want an intimate part? I mean, we can get like a deep cut.
I want a deep cut, man. Let's get into the deep cuts, man. You know what I'm saying?
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
Well, we talked a little bit about, you know what I mean, the women that support, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, like, what does that mean to the culture? You know what I mean? To have that culture in there with the women, but also, you know what I'm saying, with that fashion side. I think you guys blended well. And I'm going to say this again, man. You guys got the mysteriousness. You guys are able to function with the streets. Right. You guys got the street look too, which I think is very important too. So the street, the fashion, but the high quality of fashion, and you guys are producing that, you know what I'm saying, which is incredible, and bringing people to inspiring people to like help you guys, you know what I'm saying. So I mean, we talked about how the women inspire you guys too, you know what I mean. If you want to talk about that, we can talk about that too.
Yeah, we'll hit it with that. Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, we were speaking this on that earlier, but it's like the women are like, they're just the taste. They're the tastemakers.
They're the tastemakers.
Tastemakers.
You know,
100.
They're gonna let you know what's good.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And like if a woman,
and it's not verbally. It's never verbally.
It's a feeling.
It's a feeling.
Wow.
It's a feeling, and then they're just the inspo. And I feel like Shiloh has his own way with tapping in with the women. I feel like it's just fluent. He on here shouting them out, but like they're all like, all these women are crucial like muses, and they're like, they raise our taste level.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Flames.
The ones that the women that have really good taste, they'll put you on shit that like will literally change your life. Like they'll put you on a piece of garment that you'll put on and be like, damn. Or they'll see you in shit and they'll put you on shit. Like it's a real ass thing. You know what I'm saying? Like like
100%.
No, not even joking. Like without the certain women in my life, like I would not be like here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? If there weren't those women, who would be doing it for? Like the bros? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like, you know what I mean? Just like doing it for like what? Like we don't want to do it for other men. We're trying to do it because we're trying to be the best men for like eventually the woman, or like, you know what I mean, our counterpart, or like whatever that is. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
That type of energy that like, you know, it's like that shit. So
yeah, shout out to women. You know, yeah, they're all coming.
You know what I mean? They like really be like leveling.
They really be leveling us up. Like, and it's like, I, you know, just going back to Crazy.
We in the streets right
Yeah,
now.
we in the streets right now. You know what I'm saying?
Look at that.
That's just the realness
You
of
might
it.
hear the street cleaners fucking coming around.
You
in
know
a
what I'm
second,
saying?
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, it's you know, it's like a feeling. Like I think we
Yeah,
Man,
we
that's
do,
what's up, man. Look, thank you guys very much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. Shout out to Single Double, man. You know
Shout
what I'm
out.
saying?
Single Double.
Shout out
yeah.
to you, bro.
Shout out to
Man.
James.
Shout out to Slap.
Man, much love and respect, guys. You know what I'm saying? It was an honor to speak to you guys and hearing the stories, just hearing all the things that I see, but hearing the background story of that, I think is very important for the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys
100%.
said, like, you know what I mean? You guys are in reach of the kids. You guys are inspired. You guys are here to inspire. Do what you guys feel is right. And do what you guys feel you guys got to do to get ahead, and do what you guys got to do. Billboard, you know what I'm saying? Just like
And that's
residency.
nothing. And that's nothing.
Listen,
It's like
okay.
more
Yeah.
shit.
There's more.
There's bigger shit than that too. It's like Billboard. Like it's really about how you gonna hit people,
For sure.
how you gonna make them feel something, and like really.
And
like,
shout out to Nike with staring at us at at the what is the stadium?
this guy's stupid. This guy's dumb. Cut that out. This guy dumb.
Well,
Let's go.
I heard about that story,
Yeah.
but you know, what I mean, hey, okay, well, you know, we can talk about that after.
we'll talk about next
interview. Next interview, man. We can just keep it going. This is the diaries of.
This is a diary.
This is the diary.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? The diaries of as we continue to grow, man. But you know what I'm saying? Much love and respect,
Thank you,
guys,
James.
man. You
Thank
know what I
you.
mean? Till
Man,
next
much love
time.
for
Once
real.
again, you
Thank
tune
you,
into
James.
Slap Radio. That's Slap with
Slap.
two P's, the sight and sound of the Pacific. I'm your host, James Westbrook. We're here with Shiloh and Keanu, sharing their story. Big shout out to Single Double. Shout out to all the fam that's supporting them. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a big night tomorrow. Big celebration. And that's just only the iceberg of the whole thing. The whole iceberg. All right? So we'll see you guys next time. All right?
Let's go. Fuck yeah. James.
Slap Radio.